Good morning, Rajesh. Yeah, we'll wait for a couple of minutes and then we'll start.
Okay.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, audible.
Okay. So I'm trying to share my screen. So just please confirm if you're able to see, okay? Probably we can start. It's already 5 minutes delayed. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, visible.
Yes.
Okay. Probably we can start because it's already 7:05. So let me check how many participants we have. No, for some reason I'm not able to see. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is about network fundamentals. Okay. So today and on Monday we will discuss about network fundamentals. So have you guys some kind of knowledge on network fundamentals? Anyone in the class? Guys, are you there? Guys, come on, please respond.
Yes, yes.
We are starting our day, so it should be done active now. Okay. So, if you can see my first slide, so it's all about network fundamentals, whatever needed for cybersecurity engineers. And I'm not going to cover all the fundamentals in the network, but just I wanted to limit to the network concepts, whatever is needed for cybersecurity. And just moving on to the next slide. Okay, here we go. So hope you guys are able to see clearly, right? The content in my screen, or is it the font is small?
The font is small boost.
Okay. How about now? Is it a bit clear? Just bear with me today. I
Yeah,
think
okay.
I have some issues. Yeah. So now it's clear if I'm not wrong.
Ma'am, hi, good morning.
Good morning. Who is this? One second.
Sultan. Yeah, Sultan.
Sultana, would you mind share your screen because I have shared the
Yeah,
presentation there.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I'm
I'm trying.
sharing.
Yeah.
1 second.
Mm. Okay. You can go to third slide, Sultana. And it would be great if you can increase the font size and maybe you can zoom and put it in presentation mode. Third slide. Okay. Guys, you're able to see screen, right? Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Fine then. So today I'm going to cover network basics. So whatever is required for cybersecurity engineers, and it's more of theoretical. So I wanted you guys to listen carefully because if you understand the concepts of network, then it will be easy for you to understand the vulnerability management as well. And I will try to give real-time scenarios for all these concepts. So if you guys have any questions, please do raise then and there so that it will be easy for you to understand better. Okay. Okay. So what do you mean by network? Anyone in the class? Come on, guys. You
Communicating with
can.
each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Communicate to each other person.
Okay. Okay. So I'll give you a definition of this network. Network is nothing but a collection of interconnected devices that will communicate with each other. Okay. Now I'll give you some example. I'll take example neighborhood. Okay. So imagine a neighborhood where we have houses, streets, and addresses. So each house is like a device. Okay. So in network perspective, when I say devices, it is nothing but computers, servers, switches, all these comes under devices. But here we are talking device as a house. Okay. So in a network, so each house is like a device. And let's say whenever if somebody asked you, so where is your house address? How you will try to convey them? How you will say? So maybe I'll come and ask some person in the class. So may I know your address? So how you will tell? How you will convey your address to some other person? What and all you will mention in the address?
Door number and any landmark.
Okay.
Landmarks are directions.
Okay, great.
Street directions.
So yeah, so you will mention street, right? So within a street, we will have houses. Very good. Good answer. So within the streets, we will have different houses. So what streets represent here? It represents a pathway. Let's say you will say, okay, I'm in so and so street. Again, in that street, so you have to come to this apartment. Again, in this apartment, this is the door number. That's how you will tell your address. So here, house is nothing but a device. Streets is nothing but presenting the pathways, how to reach to your house. And maybe in the same street, if some other person is residing over there, so they will say, okay, this is the street. Again, this is the apartment name. B is the apartment name. Again in B. So my apartment number is so and so 201 or 202 something. Okay. So your apartment is different and his or her apartment is different, so that like how you are representing the pathways by telling the street details and also by telling the apartment name, and again within the apartment you're trying to say what is the door number, what is the flat number. And here we are using streets as a pathways that takes data to move between the devices, and every house is having a unique address, right? So the every house will have a different address, like how each device on a network will have a different IP address. Okay, is it clear now? The definition of network? It is nothing but a collection of interconnected devices, as I mentioned. And coming to the components, so components is nothing but we have devices and we have media and also we have protocols. So devices, here we have computers and servers, like all the devices. And how you will connect those devices? By using the media, right? So either by cables or like, either it is wireless. So how it will communicate to each other? It will try to communicate via protocols. So protocols that I'll cover in the next upcoming slides. And we will discuss about types of networks. So we have different types of networks, right? So we have LAN, which is nothing but local area network, and WAN, so wide area network. PAN is nothing but personal area network, and MAN. MAN is nothing but metropolitan area network. So LAN is used for small geographical areas. It is not suitable for large geographical areas. And wide area network we can use for larger geographic areas. And coming to the personal area network, it is for very small networks. We can use this kind of network. And MAN we can use for multiple MAN we can use for multiple networks, and like maybe I can say within the city I can say. Okay, so if you ask me, what is the type of network which we can use it on our personal devices? So which is nothing but PAN. Okay, can you guys give me example LAN where you can use and PAN where you can use and MAN where we can use and WAN where we can use? You can see it on the screen and you can answer.
WAN we use in laptops, local device.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you. So PAN. Thanks for answering. PAN, coming to the PAN, so it's like personal devices. You will be using your mobiles, right? So where you will use Bluetooth, you will try to connect your headsets via Bluetooth. And this and all PAN is for very limited areas, which is nothing but personal devices. And then comes LAN. So whatever the Wi-Fi and routers, everything within your house or office, it comes under LAN. And coming to MAN, so it is like, your neighborhood. I have explained neighborhood. That comes under MAN. And also like, your neighborhood or within a city, it comes under MAN. So WAN is something we can use it to connect multiple cities or countries or even continents also we can say. So WAN is something which is a very wider area network and we can use for multiple geolocations and cities, countries and continents. So WAN is the type of network which will help us to connect over cities. So which is the biggest wider area network. Okay, is it clear? The first slide. Okay. Sultana, you can go to next slide. Okay, thanks. So now we will talk about network topology. So what do you mean by network topology? Uh, let's say we have different devices in a network. So we have to arrange those devices to be connected in a network, or like, we have to connect to, like, we have to know how they are connected to each other. In simple, I can say it's like arrangement of different devices in a network and how they are connected to each other. Okay. Now, in simple, I can say why we will use Google Maps. Let's say you are at one place and you're trying to travel to some other place. Okay. So how you will try to see in Google Maps and how you will go to your destination? How you will go? Like everybody might have used the Google Maps, right? Let's say you wanted to move from one place to other place. So what you will check on Google Maps and how you will check and how you will identify the destination.
Yeah, searching the destination address in Google
Mm-hmm.
Maps. Following the direction we can
Okay,
go
what
to
and all?
the
Let's say you are in one place, maybe you are in Andhra and you're trying to go to Hyderabad. Then what and all you will see? Like how you will check in Google Maps? I understand your direction. So when you say directions, you will check what and all places is connected in between Andhra and Telangana. And you will see how it is, how these towns are linked to each other and how you have to travel, right? In the same way, even network topology is nothing but arrangement or a layout of different devices in a network and how they are connected to each other. It's like a blueprint in simple. Okay. And again, in this network topologies, we have different types of network topologies. So one is bus and star, ring, and mesh. So listen carefully. I will break down with simple examples. I wanted, end of this explanation, I wanted you guys to say which kind of topology is helpful and which kind of topology we are using nowadays more. Okay. Coming to bus. Bus is nothing but it is a single central cable. Okay. So for one cable, all the devices will get connected. I'll give you one example. Imagine a single road. Okay. So imagine a single road with houses on both the sides of the road. Okay. So if you want to send message, so it travels along this road and everyone on the road, they can see it. They can see the message. So do you think it is safe? No. And coming to star, so star is nothing but devices connected to one central hub. So here hub acts like a main controller. Here, if one device fails, it doesn't affect any other devices. But what if hub fails? The complete network will go down. So in star, so it's always depend on the hub functionality. Maybe I can give you example. So let's say just think of an airport. So with all the flights connected through one central hub. So each flight, it goes directly to this hub before heading out to any destination. So what if the hub fails? So complete the flights they can't travel to the destinations. So it's always important, like hub should have proper functionality. If it fails, everything will go down. Coming to ring network topology. So here in ring topology, devices are connected in a circular loop. So data travels in one direction around the ring until it reaches its destination. So if one connection in the ring breaks, so it can disrupt the entire network. So until unless if there is a backup route. So this is also which is complex in nature. So if there is any failures in one device, so it will try to break all the devices. And imagine a circular bus route around a town. Okay. So the bus can go in any direction, either picking up or dropping off passengers at each stop, right? So if it got stuck in one place, so it couldn't be able to move to some other place because it's a circular bus route. So in the same way, we will talk about mesh. So mesh is nothing but every device is connected to several other devices. Okay. Here, if one path fails, data can take another route. So this topology is something which is very reliable. Okay. I'll give you an example for this. So maybe spider's web. Everyone might have seen spider's web, right? So each device is connected to several points. Let's say there will be a spider in middle of the web, right? So it is connected to multiple threads. Just imagine what if one thread breaks in that web. So will it be able to move by using other threads or will it be stuck in middle? You guys answer me. Anyone? Did you understand my question or do you want me to repeat? Okay. So here I'm trying to say, so in the mesh topology, it is connected to multiple other devices. Okay. So I'm trying to take spider's web. You know spider's web, right? Spider's web as an example. Let's say spider's web, spider is lying in the middle of the web, spider's web. And there will be multiple threads in spider's web, right? If one thread breaks, do you think spider will be able to reach from middle of the web to outside of the web?
Oh,
Sorry?
Yes, sir, they don't.
Yes, it can.
Yeah, yeah. Because it has some other threads. So where spider can use those threads and come out. So I'm telling you this example because So if any one part fails in mesh network topology, data still can take another route. So that this topology is something very reliable. When you consider bus, star, and ring, if one device fails, the data transmission will be difficult because it impacts all other devices as well. So is it clear now? And you guys tell me which network topology is very reliable? Anyone? Which network topology is very reliable and we can use it? We always see the best functionality in everything, right? So in network topology perspective, what is the topology which we can use without any issues? Maybe mesh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very good, Ashwini. So mesh is something we can use it because so even if there is any failures for one particular device or like few particular devices, it still have some other route where it can transfer the data from one device to other device. Very good. Okay, then moving on to protocols. Guys, this is very theoretical subject. So if you guys have any questions, so just let me know because I can give you some real-time examples so that it will be easy for you guys to understand. But try to understand and try to study. So once we are done with this class. Okay. Now, network protocols. Okay. So what do you mean by network protocol? So network protocol is nothing but set of rules that devices follow to communicate with each other over a network. Okay. Uh, let's say we have to communicate to some other person. So probably maybe I wanted to communicate to Yashashwini. So she don't know my native language. Even I don't know her native language. Okay. So how we will communicate? How we will try to communicate to the person who don't know your language? Maybe she is aware of English and she will be able to speak English. So how you will communicate? First, how you will start your conversation? Okay, so I started class today. So every day, how I'll start my class? Like what is the conversation we are having in the beginning of the class?
Say hi, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning. How I'll be ending the class?
Then bye.
Bye. So we have some kind of rules saying hi and bye at the end. So these are nothing but the rules that will help you to communicate clearly, right? So likewise, even devices need some protocols to exchange information in a way that both sides they should understand. So here we are talking about two persons, right? So tutor and students. For tutor and students, we are trying to exchange information that you should be able to understand. Even if you're talking something, I should be able to understand. So in the same way, even for network devices, so they need protocols to exchange the information between two different devices that should be understandable. Is it clear now? Guys, is it clear now? The definition of network protocol? What do you mean by network protocol? Anyone wanted to give me a definition, like what you understand? Okay. Can I pick a name from participants? Maybe Yashashwini, you wanted to give me a definition of network protocol in simple? Yeah, Damu.
Generally, network protocol, so simple way, it's a common language for the computer. Okay,
Yeah.
so simple, we can say that it's a set of rule. So to processing the data.
Yeah, so yeah, partially correct. So instead processing, you can say communicating.
Yeah,
Communicating data between like the set of rules that devices follow to communicate with each other in a network. Okay.
yeah. For example, the computers within the network may use different software or hardware. So, however, it will be used the protocols to enable to communicate with each other. So that is nothing but protocol.
Yeah, exactly. So it's in simple, it's a set of rules that devices follow to communicate with each other over a network. Okay. So that's the reason I have given you example about the conversing between two persons. Okay. Now we will discuss about the network protocols and TCP/IP. These are the protocols: TCP/IP, HTTP, and HTTPS, and FTP is one of the protocol, file transfer protocol, and DNS, so domain name system. We will go one by one. TCP/IP. So TCP/IP is nothing but transmission control protocol and internal internet protocol. So this is the most fundamental suit for the internet. So I'll give you an example. So you know TCP, right? So TCP is something which breaks down the data into packets and ensures that they are delivered correctly. Let's say if you're trying to send one mail or something from your system to some other person's system, to some person called B. Okay. So what TCP will do? So whatever the mail you have drafted, like whatever the mail you have typed, so it will try to break down the data into packets and ensures they are delivered correctly. What IP will do? So while IP addresses and routes the packets to the correct destination. Okay. So TCP is something which is used to break down the data into packets and ensures that they are delivered correctly. And what IP will do? IP will addresses and routes the packets to the correct destination. I'll give you example for that. Okay, you are trying to send some letter. Okay, you are trying to send some letter through a postal system. So what TCP will do? It will try to break your message into small pieces. So when I say small pieces, it is nothing but packets. So when I say message, it is nothing but data. So what it will do? So it will, what IP address will do? It will try to send them through different routes and again it reassembles them at the destination. So which means it is trying to convey the message properly at end of the at end of the time the receiver got this message, so it should be reassembled. Okay, so is it clear TCP/IP? So TCP/IP is nothing but it is for transferring the data over internet, and TCP breakdowns the data into packets, and IP it addresses and routes the packets to the correct destination. Okay. IP is nothing but a postman kind of. It will try to see to which address is to be delivered, and through which route they have to take the destination. And the next one is HTTP, HTTPS. So everyone might be using on daily basis, right? So HTTP is nothing but hypertext transfer protocol, and HTTPS is nothing but hypertext transfer protocol secure. Okay, so it's always important to use HTTPS. I'll give you the example, and also I'll give you the definition of HTTPS and why we have to use HTTPS. Okay, coming to HTTP, so this is the protocol we used for browsing the websites. Okay, what it will do, it's nothing but it's a set of rules that allows your web browser to request pages from your web server and display them to you. Okay, in simple, maybe you will go to Google, right? So you'll go to Google and you'll try to type Facebook. Okay, so where you are browsing in the website, what it will try to do, it will try to check in web browser, and once you give FB and enter your credentials, you will be able to log into your account. So that is nothing but the request page from a web server, and it will try to display your account details. Whereas HTTPS, it is nothing but a secure version of HTTP. What it will do, so HTTP is not secure. HTTP is secure. So in HTTPS, so it encrypts all the data between the browser and the web server, so making sure that the sensitive information is protected. So like, whatever that you're giving credentials to log into FB. Okay, if it is not encrypted, maybe there is a possibility of an attacker to steal your credentials by using multiple techniques, right? So if you use HTTPS, so it encrypts your data, like whatever the username and password, it will try to encrypt. So even if an attacker is in between to steal your information, so it will be very difficult for him to steal your username and password because it is encrypted, right? I'll give you another example for same. Imagine you ordered some food at a restaurant. What you will do? You'll try to call the waiter. So here waiter is nothing but web browser. So in web browser you will give whatever you wanted to land it for. In the same way, here you will call the waiter and you will tell what you want. And waiter will brings it from the kitchen. So here kitchen is nothing but web server. The waiter will go to kitchen, whatever you have ordered, he will tell that, and he will get the food to your table. So here waiter is nothing but web browser and kitchen is nothing but web server, and food is nothing but your request page. Here, if it is HTTP, here there is no private conversation. When you consider it as HTTPS, so your conversation with waiter is private and it can't be heard by any other person, right? So it will be easy in terms of web browsing. The HTTPS is something which is recommendable and which is safe to browse your websites, and also it will be helpful to secure your credentials over internet. So it's always HTTPS is something recommended to use. Okay, is it clear? HTTPS? Guys, this is something theoretical. So if you guys didn't understand, let me know again. I'll explain you, because these are the fundamentals which you are aware of. Okay, I'll take silence as no doubts. Okay, moving on to next protocol. No, the same slide, Sultana. Okay, so the next protocol is nothing but FTP. So FTP is file transfer protocol. So this is used to transfer files between computers over internet. So normally we will use this FTP for uploading the files to website. Like normally we will upload files to the website, right? So for this, FTP is the protocol which is used in the backend. And even for downloading the files from a server, FTP is used. So it's all about transferring the files between computers over internet. And maybe I'll give another example for this one. So imagine you are sending one package from one post office to another post office. So here, just imagine the post office is nothing but computers. Okay. So maybe there is a person called A. So he went to post office and he tried to send his package to person B via another post office. So what you will do? So you will use delivery service that follows specific rules to make sure your package is arrives safely, right? So here, in the same way, so uploading of the data to website and downloading the file from a server, it needs some transfer file. It needs some protocol to transfer those files safely. So for this, we will use FTP. Is it clear? Guys,
Yeah,
is it
clear,
clear,
Pooja.
FTP?
Yeah,
Yeah,
clear.
okay. And the next protocol is nothing but domain name system. Okay. It's like a internet's phone book. In simple, I can say it's like a internet phone book. What it will do, it will try to translate all the human readable domain names into IP addresses that computers use to identify each other on network. Okay. Uh, maybe someone answer me. So if you want to call your friend, okay, but you don't have their number, but you have their name. Like you remember only name, but you don't have their phone number in your mind. What you will do when you have your phone with you? Did you understand the scenario? You wanted to
Yeah, yeah.
call your
Yeah,
friend.
simple. We will search the name in the mobile. In
Okay,
contacts list.
very good, very good. So what you are trying to do, you're trying to use your phone book to look up their number, right? In the same way, even DNS, what it will do, it will try to translate all the domain names to IP addresses. Why it is translating from domain name to IP addresses? Because computers will be able to identify the devices based on the IP address on the network. So it can't read any domain names. So we will use DNS to translate website to IP. So whenever you give facebook.com, so that will be DNS will be used in the backend. So it will change the domain name to IP address so that computer or laptop will be able to understand. Then it will give you the web page. So that's how it works. So especially these protocols ensure that all devices on a network can communicate effectively. So is it clear? All the network protocols? Do you have any questions?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
Hi,
you tell
Pooja.
me. Yeah, Damu.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So here we are telling the domain name system. So the thing is, the IP address, it will be constant or it will be keep on changing.
It depends based on the IP they have set for that particular domain. So maybe it will be static and it will be dynamic. So there is another concept called DHCP. If they have enabled DHCP, then it will be dynamic. If not, then it will be static. Maybe probably I can bring these topics in upcoming classes so that it will be easy for you guys to understand. So
Okay.
for now, I
So,
can say it is based on the type of DHCP enablement they have did in the backend.
yeah, for suppose, I have one more question. For suppose, let's take like we have 2 or 3 servers.
Mm.
So maybe now we have configured the domain name system for something. Let's say like for LinkedIn. So we have placed that server for LinkedIn. So maybe 1 week after it is going to change the IP address. So at the time, if IP address is changed, is it going to fetch the new IP address automatically, or do we need to set it back in the server?
No, if DHCP is enabled, then it will be different.
Okay.
It will
Okay.
change automatically.
Mhm.
I think for all the websites, the IP addresses, they will not keep it as static. If they keep static, it will be easy for hackers to attack, right? So it will
Yeah.
be dynamic only.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Good question. Any other questions? And also, Damu, there is a concept called, different technology used by websites. So, which is nothing but content delivery networks and load balances also they will use. So, I'll bring these topics in our upcoming classes so that I can explain you and elaborate you in a proper description. So, but for now,
Okay.
if I get it, then it will be difficult for others to understand.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And the next slide. Okay. So here we'll be talking about IP addresses and subnetting. So what do you mean by IP address? We already spoke in the beginning of our class. When we talk about neighborhood, I gave an example for network, right? So I said each house is like a device and each house will have a unique address. Okay. On a network, for every device, so there will be a unique identifier. So like I already mentioned, right? So there will be, for let's say if it is a neighborhood, so each house will have unique address for sending and receiving information, right? In the same way, IP address is nothing but a unique identifier for any device on a network. So for each and every device, there will be IP assigned. IP address is assigned. Again, in this IP addresses, so we have two different types of IP addresses. So one is IPv4 and the other one is IPv6. So IPv4 is nothing but, it's a older system, but with a limited number of addresses. There will be a pool, right, in the network. In that pool, so IPv4 is a older system with a limited number of addresses will be there. And when it comes to IPv6, it is a newer system with a vastly larger capacity of addresses. And if you can see the number of bits for IPv4, it is 32-bit address. When it comes to IPv6, it is 128-bit addresses. You can see the format of IPv4 and IPv6 in the slide. And also, we will talk about the different types of IPs. So we have two different types of IPs. So one is public IP and the other one is private IP. So what do you mean by public IP? Public IP is nothing but which can be identified on internet. Okay, I'll give you one example. Okay, we spoke about neighborhood. In neighborhood, so you will, whenever if someone asks you, like he will tell you the address. So in address, you will mention what is the street name and what is the apartment name and what is your flat number, right? So here in the address, so street name and apartment name of the building is something which is available on internet, right? So maybe in Google or something you can see so and so street and so and so apartment name. Will you be able to see the flat number of a person in the internet?
No.
Let's say, yeah, no. So yeah, let's say you're staying in one place. So people will be able to see your street name, your city, and your apartment name also, but they can't see your flat number on the internet. So which means it is not a details, it is not a public details, it is a private details, right? So now you tell me, what do you mean by public IP? I explained you the scenario. I'm expecting from someone the definition of public IP.
Number of persons used in a public IPS.
No. Maybe you can rephrase it.
For this scenario, it will be unique for visible to everyone.
Yeah. Now this is something I'm expecting. Yeah. So it is nothing but something that is accessible to anyone on the internet, right? So that is nothing but public. And here, if you can see, coming to private IP, the private IP is like an apartment number. Okay. So in the public IP, we spoke about apartment name and street address, but when it comes to private IP, it's like apartment number. So to identify the devices within your local network. Here, a public IP or private IP, both are needed to connect your local devices to internet while keeping your network organized and efficient. So for public IP, it is connected to ISP. Okay, ISP is nothing but internet service provided. So public IP is a unique identifier assigned to your network by your ISP. So what ISP will do, it will allow your network to communicate with other networks and also devices on the internet. When it comes to private IP, it is only limited to your local network. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? Public IP and private IP differences. Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And the next topic is subnetting. So what do we mean by subnetting? Subnetting is nothing but dividing large network into smaller parts. How you can divide the large network? Maybe when we spoke about network, we spoke about LAN, WAN, and all those things, right? So let's say we have considered one city. Again, in one city, we will have different locations. Again, in that locations, we will have different departments. Again, in those departments, there will be different functionality. So in the same way, so we will be able to divide the large networks into smaller parts. And for this, I can give you one example. So maybe you have one large farm, okay? So you have a large farm area. So where you are trying to divide into smaller sections for different crops. I think you might have seen these kind of crops, right? There may be some 5 acres. So out of those 5 acres, so 1 acre they will give for one crop, and 2 acres they will give for different crops. And for rest of the 2 acres, they'll use for some other crops. So why they are doing like that? Why can't they grow only one crop? Why they're dividing those sections for different crops? Have you seen these kind of scenarios, like, where where they will use one large farm for different crops?
Yes, ma'am. We can see.
Yeah. So why they are dividing into multiple sections for different crops? Why they haven't used for only one crop?
Actually, it's a safety method, ma'am.
Okay.
It's a depend on market.
Okay. So yeah. So it's for safety. Like I can say in terms of network perspective, I can say it is for security. Maybe like if you grow only one crop, probably if some issue happens, so the entire crop will go, right? So entire crop will be impacted. What if different crops, if it is different crop, if there is issue with one type of crop, so they will get benefited for other crops, whatever they have grown. So in the same way, for effective usage and for security purpose, and also to manage the addresses, so the subnetting is needed. So maybe let's say we have some around, when you say subnetting, we have different subnets here. So maybe I'll take /24 in the example, you can see it on the slide. So /24, it can be used into two subnets. So let's say when it is /24, it contains 254 usable IPs. Sorry, 255 usable IPs. Let's say I have to allocate 50 users with different IP addresses. Okay. So if I use the entire subnets, I can only use 50 IP addresses, but we still have 255 IP addresses, right? If you allocate complete subnet to those users, so you will only use 50 IP addresses, and there will be 205 IP addresses, which is unusable. What you will do with that if you allocate the subnet, then it will be wastage. What you will do now, you will divide this subnet into multiple subnets, and out of those smaller subnet, you will give it to the users whoever need it, right? In the same way, so dividing into smaller subnets will help you to manage efficiently, and also it will help you to allocate the resources properly. Okay, is it clear? And coming to the subnetting, so we have subnet, we have multiple subnets with multiple number of bits, and also we have mask. So that I'll cover it in next class, because now we left out with only 1 minute. So we can't cover in this class. So is it clear? So did you get some kind of understanding for IP addresses and subnetting?
Yes.
Okay. So any other questions in today's class?
No.
Great. And I understand this is a theoretical, complete theoretical concepts, but I let you guys go through these classes, like, this class especially, so in the weekend, and try to, try to correlate with your real-time scenarios, and just try to understand what are the concepts we discussed today. If any questions, you can reach out to me on Monday in our next class. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, or shall we wind up this?
I think 64-bit also there.
Sorry.
32-bit and 64-bit also two numbers are there.
Yeah, we have multiple subnets. So again, in that subnet, maybe I can give you some cheat mark sheet on Monday. So where it will help you the subnet versus the number of bits that can be used.
Okay.
/25 is there, /26 is there, 27 is there. I'll help you out on Monday. That's what I told.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Pujita,
Yeah.
Damu
Yeah,
here.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, after section, can I have a chance to interact? So I have some doubts.
After session, probably can we take it up on Monday? Or okay, you can ask me now, maybe others they can drop off, so I'll be there. We can
Okay.
discuss, not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, then. Guys, whoever want to drop off, you can drop off. If you have any questions, I'll be available for next 5 minutes so that we can discuss.
Yeah, Pujita. So regarding actually, currently I'm working is in different technology. It's an SAP. Okay. So now I'm planning to switch to cybersecurity. So what is my concern? So already I have it's an more than 8 years of experience. Okay, in IT. So now I'm planning to instead of the technology, so I'm planning to interest to switch to cybersecurity. So what is the scope? Like suppose if I'll go through these sections, so can I have a chance to put at least 3 years? So is it possible to get into the cyber
Uh,
security? So at least to put 3 years, suppose if I learn, so is it possible to survival? So I have some doubts. So that's the reason I asked.
if you have if you have better understanding, so and we'll be helping with interviews and all those things, right? So you can crack it. So coming to the experience part, you're asking for can you be able to put 3 to 4 years, right? So that is something you have to take it up with Jawahar. But if you
Okay.
ask me any technical things, any content wise, I can help you out. But
Okay.
always remember, so if you understand the concepts well and if you are able to put it in your real-time scenarios, and if you understand the logic behind of each and every concept, then it will be easy for you. So end of the day, even if you keep experience, like even if you don't have experience, whenever you're trying to attend any of the interviews, so they'll always see the knowledge based on the questions they're asking and based on the answers you're giving for those questions, right?
Yeah. No, only just what is my query? So I'm familiar with the subject. Even I am more interested about related the subject. So instead of coding part, so I am
Mhm.
switching the technology. Actually, the current technology which I am working in SAP. So day to day, it will be it's mandatory to increase the coding part. So instead of that, actually, I am planning to switch. So I am much flexible, especially for these networking concepts. I know somewhat earlier. I go through that AD, Active Directory, TNS, DHCP, all the concepts I am much familiar, especially for the networking CCNA concepts. So just I
Mhm.
want to refresh all those things. So what is my concern? Only the concern is suppose if I will learn full-fledged this course now, so is it possible to survival? That is what my query. Why?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, you
I
can.
want the real time. Why? Because theory it's a different, the practical it's a different, right? So that is what the concern.
Yeah, so it's always in any interview nowadays they're coming up with real-time scenarios and also
Yes.
they're asking you the questions based on the practical knowledge. So when it comes to Qualys tool perspective, I'm trying to give you the lab sessions as well. So let me check on it and I can
Already even I configure Qualys also.
yeah, then
So
it's fine.
mm,
So I can help you out, I'll log into the tool and I'll try to explain so what and all we have to do. Even if they ask any practical questions to you, so we can discuss in our mock interviews, right? And also I can give you some kind of questions what they'll ask and what is the practical scenarios they'll ask with respect
is
to
it
Qualys
required
tool
any
and vulnerability
certification?
management.
Is it required any certification before to start the interviews?
No, within Qualys itself, Qualys self-learning tool itself, we can do one certification by end of this class. I mean, by end of this training. So I'll help you out to finish that certification.
Okay.
So then you will be Qualys vulnerability management certified. So where you can use it to upload in your LinkedIn and even your CV.
Okay. Yeah, Pujita. Yeah, thanks for the information.
Okay. Any
And
other question, guys?
no, so may I
Yeah,
know where you're working, Pujita?
sorry.
May I know where you are working? So actually, currently I'm working in Cognizant.
Sorry, that is something confidential, so I
Okay, okay.
can't reveal it.
No issue, no issue.
Yeah.
Okay, Pujita. Thank you.
Okay, then. Thank you. Have a great weekend ahead. So we'll see you on
Same to you.
Monday.
Yeah, bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Pujita.
Thank you. Bye.